A kid named Kurt Warner watches the Super Bowl on TV. He dreamed of becoming like Joe Montana after he saw him become MVP of Super Bowl 19 and break his all-time pass record.
Over 1 million athletes play high school football every year.
5% make it to a college team, and only 1% get drafted into the NFL.
So by all accounts, my dream is impossible.
Years later, Kurt Warner, a 5-year senior, makes his first start for his college team after he's been on the bench for 4 years. After getting hit in the pocket, he runs out of the pocket in the next round and lands a perfect touchdown.
How you like that, Coach?
You still didn't stay in the damn pocket.
Yeah, you're welcome.
A while later, Kurt tries to make a highlight reel of his games that he can send to scouts and agents. His friend Hud tells him he only started 2 games.
The NFL's not going to draft some dude who's been sitting on the bench for 4 years at a 1AA school in Iowa.
Hud insists that they go out. They soon get to a cowboy bar, and Hud goes to dance. Kurt exchanges glances with a beautiful woman named Brenda. During training, Kurt runs out of the pocket again and scores, but his coach reminds him not to be a hotshot and stay in the pocket. Sometime later, Hud and Kurt return to the bar, and Kurt tips the bartender to play a barn dance. He partners up with Brenda, and he makes her laugh while they dance. They sit down to have a chat after the dance.
So football, seriously. You give me an honest answer and I'll give you my name.
It's just like the only thing I've ever really been good at, so it just feels like more than a game to me.
Kurt follows Brenda outside and asks what's wrong.
I'm divorced and I got 2 kids, so if I never see you again, I totally understand.
The next day, Brenda takes care of her daughter, Jessie, and her legally blind son, Zack. Suddenly, she hears a knock on the door, which turns out to be Kurt. Brenda rushes inside to clean things up, and Zack opens the door and lets Kurt in. Zack tells him his radio is broken, so Kurt helps him change the radio's batteries, and they both lie on the ground to listen to some country music. Zack wants to be a black truck driver.
Is that the guy? He's cute.
Brenda asks him how he found her address.
The bartender at the bar?
She asks him why he's here, and he tells her he wanted to meet her kids and hands her a flower.
Where's your car?
I walked.
That's like 3 miles.
Totally worth it.
The next game, Kurt is left on the bench. He asks the coach to put him in, but the coach refuses. After the game ends, he asks the coach what his problem with him is.
You don't stay in the pocket. You got the talent, loads of it, but when things get hard, run from adversity. You don't trust your team or my playbook.
10 more games and my dream is gone. I've been working my whole life for this, please. I'm not gonna quit, because that's not what leaders do. I just need to know how to get on that field.
You can throw, but you cannot leave the pocket. You want your shot, you take the pain. On again. I said again.
Sometime later, Kurt calls Brenda and invites her to a date on Monday night. The next night, Kurt starts for his team and wins.
How's it feel to make out with a future professional athlete?
It was better before you said that.
In the following games, Kurt continues to keep up his game, and this time, he stays in the pocket, which makes the coach happy. He appears on the news as a growing buzz and a dark horse in the NFL draft. Sometime later, Kurt calls an agent and tries to get him, but the agent insists that it's rare that a 1AA player gets drafted in the NFL. The man eventually agrees. On draft day, Kurt takes Brenda and Zack to see his mom, who looks a bit uncomfortable when she sees Brenda. They all go inside to watch the draft picks announcement.
I probably won't get picked until tomorrow, though.
When Brenda leaves, Kurt goes to meet his mother in the kitchen.
Is that really the life you want? Single mom, 2 kids. That's no joke.
The next day, Kurt goes to Brenda's home to celebrate Zack's birthday. When Brenda sees his facial expression, she realizes he wasn't picked for the draft. When Brenda goes outside to talk to him,
I'm just wondering why God would give me a dream that's probably never gonna come true, because I just feel like that's cruel, you know?
he tells her he just wants one chance to prove he's good enough, so she tells him a football game will never do that, and it doesn't define him.
This is your dream. You have to go fight for it.
Days later, while Kurt is having dinner with Brenda's family,
the Packers call. They want to sign you.
Come on.
No, they do.
Come on!
Soon after, Kurt buys a car out of his $5,000 signing bonus and drives to Green Bay to join the Packers team. When he gets to the field, he watches the team members train and tries to understand the playbook. The coach walks up to him and asks him to step in to see what he's got.
Coach, I just got here. I don't know the playbook yet.
You don't want to go in?
I do want to go in. I just don't want to blow it out there. You give me till tomorrow.
So the coach calls another guy in. After the game, the coach calls him to his office and tells him he's off the team.
We're letting you go.
No, you're letting me go, no.
When he says they've not seen him play, the coach tells him they tried.
Coach, please, I have been working for this my entire life. Stop it, come on.
But the coach tells him he would have been ready to go on the field if that were true. Kurt drives back home dejected.
I want to go on.
Later, he tells Brenda he doesn't know what to do, and he's called every team in the NFL, but no one is interested. He tells her Hud is moving away, which means he's homeless, so Brenda asks him to move in. Kurt goes to the store to buy some groceries. He sees a help wanted poster. When it's time to pay, he has to pay with a food stamp and decides to fill out one of their job applications. That night, Brenda returns from nursing school, and Kurt tells her he got a job stocking shelves at the store on the graveyard shift.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do until you can do what you want to do. Yeah.
He tells her it's just for a little while before the next season's tryouts, so Brenda hugs him and tells him not to give up. As time passes, Kurt continues to train and work at the store. While he works, some people recognize him as a famous college footballer. Sometime later, a guy named Jim comes to introduce himself and says he's been looking everywhere for him.
Look, elephant in the room, I am sorry about the draft.
He says Kurt has the whole package, and the world needs more time to see it. When Kurt asks if he's a scout, he tells him he's not, and offers him a job to play with the Iowa Barnstormers, the newest members of the Arena Football League. Brenda likes the idea.
No, it's not football, but it's like a circus.
He insists he wants to play real football in the NFL. Jim leaves his business card and tells him to think about it.
Brenda, it's all the way in Des Moines. And it's not football.
Kurt calls his agent to ask about the other offers, but his agent says all the teams have moved on and ends the call. That evening, Brenda's dad tells Kurt that he and his wife bought their dream home in Arkansas and will soon leave.
Thing is,
We need to find a new place to live.
Brenda's dad is glad to hear Kurt say we. He asks Kurt if he loves Brenda, and he tells him he does. He asks him what's holding him back from making a move.
I guess I felt like I needed to prove myself first. Be worthy of her.
Life is not about what you can achieve, it's about what you can become.
Brenda's dad makes him promise he won't take off when things get hard and will take care of the kids for him. A year later, a blizzard envelopes the area, and everyone has to stay indoors. When Kurt returns home, he finds out Zack has a fever, and they don't have heat because they didn't pay the bill. Brenda says she's decided to quit nursing school to get a job.
We are not quitting. Do you understand?
So he suggests they go to his mom's house. They get on the road and somehow run out of gas midway. Kurt steps out and walks back a couple of miles to get some gas at the last station they pass. When he gets the gas, he returns to the car and finds it covered in frost. Luckily, the entire family survives. They return home, and Kurt apologizes because they could have all died out there.
I promised your father that I would take care of you and the kids.
She tells him it's not his fault. The next day, Kurt travels to Des Moines to sign up with the Iowa Barnstormers.
Kurt Warner. So did hell freeze over, or you just tired of waiting on the NFL? Forget everything you think you know about football. It's football at the speed of NASCAR.
Kurt meets Hud again.
We're gonna go down. Might as well go down together.
The guys train, but Kurt is used to the slow movements of conventional football. They soon had their first arena game in the barn. Kurt watches from the sidelines, but the game looks so rough.
Helicopters in for the touchdown.
God help me.
That'll bring out a new face, Kurt Warner.
Oh boy, that moves fast.
No trouble. Takes off. Buried.
That evening, the coach and Hud try to help him throw, but Kurt keeps throwing a bit too late. Kurt improved his throw in the next game and threw much faster, and the crowd got excited.
Now we're talking.
The coach hands him $100 for scoring a touchdown, and Kurt is surprised to learn he gets a $100 touchdown bonus for every touchdown, which was in his contract. He calls Brenda to tell her he got 7 touchdown bonuses and will send her his salary checks. Kurt seems to be having a good time. They start to dominate this game, and the crowd goes wild. Meanwhile, Brenda brings the kid and sits in the crowd. After the game, Kurt signs some autographs, but Brenda cannot reach him because the security doesn't let her. She suddenly finds out Zack is missing in the crowd and rushes back to find him. When Kurt talks to her, Brenda is angry that she lost Zack and couldn't get to him. He says he didn't know they would be here. It gets worse when Brenda finds out Kurt is going to a party with Hud and some women.
Hey, yo, Kurt, party at our place tonight.
I don't have to go to that.
We've got a long drive home.
Sometime later, Brenda comes back to Des Moines to see Kurt. She has an honest conversation with him and asks if he sees himself in her life long enough to watch Zack grow up and walk Jess down the aisle. She doesn't let him answer her question and says,
I've been through this before, you know that, and I can't do it again.
She requests that they skip to the breakup to avoid wasting time and tears later.
You're afraid of what? Of me bailing on you? Of me hurting you? Me being some version of your ex?
Kurt, I want you to chase your dreams, just not with me.
Kurt gives her his touchdown money and tells her she's always right. He heads to the game because that's the only thing he's good at. During the night's semifinal game, Kurt seems distracted, but he still delivers, and they head to the final in the Arena Bowl. That night, he and his mom celebrate, and she notices that he isn't looking too good. She tells him the reason he's feeling so bad, even though he won, is because it doesn't mean anything if there's no one to share it with.
She should be here, Kurt.
I thought you didn't like her.
That night, Kurt gets an emergency call from Brenda about her parents. He drives to Arkansas and finds Brenda's parents' house torn apart by a tornado. He finds her in the rubble, holding a family picture, and goes to hug her. Later, when she gets home with her sister, she finds Kurt and the kids waiting for her outside. He hugs her and says he's always been known for sports and what he did, but he suddenly realizes it's not enough and he was made for something else. He tells her he thinks it's to be with her and the kids.
Because winning isn't winning if I don't have you by my side.
He suddenly kneels.
Brenda.
Yes!
You're not gonna let me finish?
No!
Soon after, they had their wedding ceremony.
Daddy, will you dance with me?
Oh.
After 4 months and 16 games, the day of the Arena Bowl comes, and the crowd is excited when the Iowa Barnstormers face the Tampa Bay Storm. The game begins, and the scores are close. When it's time for Kurt to throw, he hesitates and gets hit before he can make a good throw.
You can see the pressure applied there,
And they don't win. After the game, a man named David Gillis introduces himself to Kurt and says they want him to come try out for them.
I'm David Gillis. We've been trying to reach you.
I'm sorry, who are you?
I'm with the Rams.
In the St. Louis Rams boardroom, the offensive coordinator, Mike, finds it ludicrous that they'd consider Kurt.
I like him. It's a hunch.
This guy's old. Slow as molasses.
That's what people said about me when I came here.
Mike says there's no way that Kurt makes the team, but Dick insists that he likes him. On the day of the tryouts, Kurt watches the players practice to understand the playbook. Coach Mike approaches Kurt to remind him of what happened at the Packers tryout and tells him not to get comfortable here. The next day, Dick notices that Mike hasn't put Kurt in any of the games and suggests that he try him out.
Pop Warner, that's you. Let's go.
That evening, Coach Mike chastises Kurt for moving too fast on the pitch that day, but Kurt agrees and grins.
Yes, sir, with a grin. Why the grin?
I was curious as to why everybody here in the NFL moves so slow.
Coach Mike just ends the class and glues some money on the wall.
For Warner, when he learns to throw a spiral. Good night, gentlemen.
The next day, Kurt mistakenly drops a ball.
That man is risking his life for you every snap, and you don't have the dignity to hold on to the damn ball?
Yes, sir. That's my mistake. It won't happen again.
On a call with Brenda, Kurt tells her the offensive coordinator hates him and always snaps at him, so he doesn't think he'll be here for long.
I mean, this is Trent Green's team anyway. They built it around him, and he's incredible.
While on the call, someone tells him the coach wants to speak to him.
How long out of college?
When Kurt says it's been a few years...
Sir, that doesn't mean that I don't know how to play the game.
14 for me. When I did come back, they said I was retread, has been, too old. All that same stuff that they're going to say about you. What they didn't know was all that experience that I had in those years made me who I am.
He tells him he sees the same thing in Kurt. He wants him to help prove to people that destiny belongs to the underdog.
Welcome to the Rams.
Come on. Come on. Come on. I gotta tell my wife.
A while later, Kurt and Brenda bought a bigger home. One day, Brenda comes home and finds Zack driving the lawn tractor.
No. Hey, baby, Brenda, it's okay. He said he was ready. And I believed him.
Kurt was put on the bench in the 1999 preseason opener between the Rams and the Chargers.
Hey, check it out.
It's my boy.
This might be the only screen time he gets, though.
Well, shut up.
Suddenly, Trent Green gets injured badly.
We've got Trent Green down in the middle of the field. This is the way I saw it. After a player gets hit by the knees.
Kurt now has a chance to prove himself, but would they give him?
Kurt Warner now warming up on the sideline, capable backup.
Oh my God.
A lot of buzz develops in the media, and some people ask why they can't put Kurt Warner as the starting quarterback, but others say Kurt is a joke. The next day, Coach Mike calls Kurt into his office and asks him why a team like theirs worth $800 million with the most complex offenses should put him as the quarterback. He tells him it's not enough that he threw a few touchdowns in arena football.
You're too old to be a rookie.
Well, with all due respect, sir, you're wrong. And if you give me a chance, I will prove that to you.
Make us a laughingstock in the league. Embarrass every member of this team, every fan of the city.
That's not true.
And asks him to give him a reason to do so. Kurt tells him to put him in because this is his time. He knows who he is and why he's here.
That's all, Kurt. Hey, Coach. He's ready.
In a press conference, Coach Dick announces that they'll rally around Kurt Warner and play well.
Kickoff 1999, opening day. The Trans World Dome, where the Ravens and St. Louis Rams are set to go at it.
Meanwhile, Kurt remains in the locker room and prays as he stares at his jersey. Brenda comes to meet him before the game to give him a letter Zack wrote to him.
To my daddy, Kurt, you never give up on me.
Kurt keeps the paper in his locker. Brenda tells him that Zack has consistently defied all odds, and she believes Kurt also will.
You go out there and you show the world what I've known all along.
When Kurt steps out, the crowd of 66,000 people cheers him on. Meanwhile, his buddies from the Iowa Brainstormers, the store, and even his coach in college football watch the game. When Kurt gets on the field, the middle linebacker, Ray Lewis, makes a lot of big talk.
You're all mine now, rookie. All mine. Bunch left, 36 out, ball one, ready. Get nothing. This is my house.
When the game begins, Lewis tackles Kurt quickly.
Wait a minute. I see you. I see you.
And Warner ripped down by guess who? Let's go! Colts need to give Kurt Warner some time today for him to be able to use those weapons downfield. Warner steps up in the pocket. At the 40, and you love this.
Yeah, I told him that now.
The next throw is intercepted by Lewis.
Intercepted by Ray Lewis. Puts it in. Lewis still running. Lewis all the way down inside the 30.
Eating you for lunch all day long.
When Kurt beats himself up for making the mistake, his teammates tell him to shake it off. Coach Mike calls him to talk to him.
I never would have put you on that field if I didn't fully believe you were a champion. And you get back out there and you get this job done. Let's go. Let's get after it.
360 high.
It's a confidence play. What do you say? Get him settled in.
They keep scoring point after point as Warner delivers remarkable throws, and they dominate the game.
Warner again in the inside. Touchdown. I mean, you're watching a star being born. This is the day that you...
About 2 minutes to the end of the game, Kurt confidently throws his last spiral pass, and everyone holds their breath as they follow the ball.
Perfect.
Great catch! Touchdown! The rookie! Smile after this.
You got it done.
As the game ends,
We did it. Man, you keep that game ball. You earned it.
Okay, well, hey, that means a heck of a lot coming from you. That really does. Good watch. Thank you. Thank you for believing in me, Coach. Thank you.
We did this together. I love you.
I love you too.
in Super Bowl 34 on January 30th, 2020, the Rams play against the Titans. The teams are tied with 2 minutes to go in the Super Bowl. Kurt moves backward and throws his final pass, which is caught by Isaac Bruce. It ends with a touchdown of 73 yards. Kurt remembers when he was a kid and saw this exact moment. We see footage of the real Kurt Warner being interviewed as he lifts the Super Bowl award. The man asks how he went from stocking shelves in a store 5 years ago to being an NFL MVP and a Super Bowl MVP.
I thank all the players, all the coaches, my family, everybody for believing in me, and I got to give the praise and glory to my Lord and Savior up above.